Hey guys, Darren here with a box review of 1993 Upper Deck Baseball Series 2. This is actually my second time doing this video. Unfortunately, the first time I did the video, I forgot to plug the microphone in, and the audio is terrible on the camera just on its own. And so I had to redo this video, and I didn't notice it at the time. So I've actually I got rid of, for whatever reason, I threw away most of the inserts. I know why I did. They were absolutely destroyed, but we'll be getting to that in a second. So I'm going to talk about something that I won't be able to show you. All right, so there are two issues with this box, and the first issue is that when I opened it, I was in a bad mood. Well, I shouldn't say in a bad mood, but it was, so when I bought this box, the only reason I spent the money that I did was because it was a 2-box lot. But when I got it, I only got 1 box, and I asked about that, and they said, well, it was only 1 box. Now, the eBay listing, the title said 2, the description said 2, in the breakdown of information, it said 2 boxes. This prick told me that there was only 1 box featured in the photo, so of course it's 1 box. I realized it was going to be such a nightmare dealing with him that I just figured I would just eat it and live with whatever I got. So, after getting royally ripped off on an expensive box, going into it, I didn't have high hopes. And that was good because, my word, these cards were bricked. They're among the worst cards I've ever dealt with in terms of bricking. Now, it didn't feel that bad. Going through, opening the packs, a lot of the cards actually turned out pretty much fine. But most of the cards, they separated easily, but check this out. The destruction on these cards is horrific. And this is a gorgeous set. It's one of the greatest sets ever. I mean, it truly is. Look at these cards. They are, it is an absolute tragedy what happened to these cards. And it was painful to go through looking at the cards because I love the set so much. So this was not a complete and absolute destruction, but I mean, it is just, it's astonishing when a box is bricked as bad as this, where there's almost no redeeming value. There are a few cards that have survived. So the subset cards from the beginning, which includes rookies and award winners and the team cards, they actually, most of these actually did survive, and that's good because here in this group of cards is where you're going to find the stars. And I'll get to the stars in a second, but that means that not every card was destroyed, but pretty close. So I stopped caring about the quality of the cards after a while, and I just pulled the cards apart, and I decided, let's find out how close I would have gotten to a set. This is the set, and I have 321 cards. So I'm 99 cards away from a complete set. So that means I am nowhere near one set, whether the cards are in good quality or bad quality. The condition doesn't matter. This would have required 2 boxes to complete it. Collation like we're used to with Upper Deck at this time was terrible. So there are a lot of cards. Let's see. See if I see one of the runs of cards. Yeah, so there are a lot of cards that are tripled. So, you know, we got 2 doubles through here. And then there are big gaps of space, including, I believe it was Cal Ripken Jr. is missing from the set. Thankfully, that was the only star card that I was missing. I got pretty much everybody else. And so I got Barry Bonds, I got Big Mac, I got Kirby Puckett, I got Wade Boggs, and I got Big Hurt. So I got pretty much everybody. Maybe Maddox was in here. I don't remember. It's unfortunately it is a little while since I looked this stuff up, and yeah. But thankfully for the cards up at the front, most of these cards pretty much survive. So I got a Carlos Delgado, which is in almost perfect shape. I've got Manny Ramirez, which has just a slight edge wear on here. I got a Derek Jeter, which is perfect, except there's a little bend up in the corner. That's the only problem with this card. So this was close to being perfect. Chipper Jones is a little tweaked at the top. Barry Bonds here looks like he's in great shape. Greg Maddux, pretty much in great shape. And then Big Mac, I see some little dots. So there's just a hair of friction attaching that to the card next to it. So that was the cards that would have been with the set. Those are the better cards. And then I got 2 more Carlos Delgados. I got 2 more Manny Ramirez's. I got 1 more Derek Jeter, which it's got some little dots on the card surface. So it's almost in as good of shape. But yeah, there's a little bit of snowing here. So this card definitely... it's not one you would want to grade, but it looks good. So in a binder, this would be fine. Maddux is in good shape. Big Mac here. Is this one in better shape? This Big Mac might be in better shape. But then I got an extra Big Hurt, Wade Boggs, 2 Kirby Pucketts, and Big Mac and Barry Bonds. So obviously the player cards were all destroyed, and I mean destroyed bad. To the point where I didn't even bother going through because, look at that. That is, it's a tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy. So it's a waste. But at least with the rookies, the cards up at the front, those cards I can go through and pull out a lot of cards that are in almost perfect condition, and some that are in workable condition. So I'll be doing that. But if you're going to get a box that's expensive, you're either going to have to get an absolute winner of a perfect card to grade, which I don't get into that stuff, or you got to do well with inserts. And they have 3 insert sets. So the first insert set was Future Heroes. I got 3 cards, including Ken Griffey Jr., destroyed. And then there's a second insert set, which is Reggie Jackson Clutch Performers, and I got Barry Bonds in that one. So those cards I did in fact get in the packs, but they were destroyed beyond belief. So much so that after I finished the original video, I discarded them. And I really don't know why I did that, because I normally don't discard any of this, or I normally don't process or break this stuff up until I verified the video. But for some reason on that one I did. So those cards I don't have here to show you, but I do. There was one insert card that survived just fine, and that's the Reggie Jackson Then and Now card. And so it's a hologram here, a young shot of Reggie here. This card is pretty much in perfect condition. So this is the one success story out of this box. Like I said, and like you saw with Derek Jeter, the Derek Jeter card almost was perfect. The only damage to the card is just normal chance in the pack. This was a card that otherwise survived the bedlam of the bricking. But yeah, the bricking on this, it wasn't a surprise. Do understand, I wasn't surprised that it was bricked bad. What surprised me was that the cards separated so easily, and yet they were utterly destroyed. And I've never experienced that. It's always been really, I've had cards that have been, you've had to carefully pry them apart with a lot of force, and there's been almost no damage. And with these, it was just pop right off, pop right off, pop. It was such a weird experience. So yeah, unfortunately, it was a box I had already wasted an unreasonably large amount of money on, and it was almost entirely in vain. That's the problem with these boxes. You get these and I hate the fact that these boxes are so stinking expensive, because you don't know. So yeah, prices are still way too high. So at any rate, that's how that went. And I'm sorry that this isn't a more clean video, but like I said, I did the video before, and the audio was a mess. So I gotta do my best with this. So yeah, there you go. Thank you very much for watching.